Hey guys, it's me, Kate again. So this video is my get to know fantasy reader tag. So let's go. What's your fantasy origin story? How you came to read the first fantasy novel? I'm sorry. I went to the library and picked a novel that seemed interesting. So there was no big thing about it. And we have, if you could be a hero heroine in a fantasy novel, who would be the author and what's one trope you would insist to be in the story? I know who would be the author, but I would insist that Fate and Maid's trope would be in the novel. What is the fantasy you read this year that you want more people to read? I actually am pre-filming this and you're seeing this in less than a month, so to you, this book I read last year, but to me it's still this year, so. And that book is Dark Eyes by C.S. Packet. I just went and grabbed it off the shelf. As I said, for you, I read this book last year, but for me it's still this year, considering that I'm filming this video in December, so. In this one we're following Boyd DeVille, who has been working on London docks up until the one day when he meets a group of people who are trying to stop Dark King from rising up again. What's your favorite fantasy subgenre? What subgenre have you not read much from? Favorite fantasy subgenre would be YA fantasy. I know it's more of age category, but mostly because I noticed that in most of the young YA fantasy that I read, there are more things that I enjoy than in adult fantasy. In adult fantasy, those elements can be found, but not as frequently as in YA fantasy. And the subgenre I haven't read much for me is fantasy romance. Not that I didn't read a lot of it, I just want to read more. Then we have, who is your auto-buy fantasy, one of your auto-buy fantasy authors? I don't know, maybe Brandon Sanderson, but I don't consider any author auto-buy. So, and we have how do you typically find fantasy recommendations? Usually on YouTube or Goodreads. Even though I don't have Goodreads account anymore, I still go and research books that are similar to the books that I enjoyed. So, because mostly they'll have the books that they have section books that are similar, so that's what I look at. Then we have what's an upcoming fantasy release you're excited for? I haven't looked in any fantasy release that are coming out next year. I know that people tend to do my anticipating releases for 2023 and blah blah blah, but I don't watch those because I don't tend to enjoy them. But I know that some are coming. I'll wait until they come out to read them, to be excited about them. Then we have, what is one misconception about fantasy you would like to lay to rest? I don't know. Tell me some the fantasy misconceptions you came across. I tend to find people who like say that most fantasy is written by men, even though that has been true in the past, because in the past mostly men were people who got the education and knew how to do it, but I tend to read more female authors. You could see that in my stats videos that I read primarily female authors, like 80% of the time, I think, or something like that. So then if someone had never read a fantasy before and asked you to recommend first 3 books that you that came to mind as places to start, what would those recommendations be? So I have 3 books here. So one of them is middle grade, so there's no detailed world building and stuff like that. No, nothing is too fantastical about it. It's all rooted in our world. One is that middle grade / YA, because first the book can be read as middle grade novel, but as you go on and on in a series, it becomes more and more YA. And then we have one that's like YA but upper YA, let's just say, because it has a lot of not so great stuff happens. So the middle grade one is A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. In this one we're following Vietnamese sisters whose family is cursed, so the women in the family cannot leave the island that they are living on. But that doesn't sit well with the middle sister, who just wants to go and have an adventure. Then the YA, middle grade / YA book is Harry Potter in the Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone. And then like the upper YA book is Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castelli. This one we're following Kellen, who is just about to take his magic trials, but his magic starts failing, so he decides to cheat. Here is who is the most recent fantasy reading content creator you came across that you'd like to shout out? The most people that I watch, I have been watching for the better part of 3 years. So I don't know. I started watching BookTube in the March 2019, in spring 2019, but most of these creators that I watch, I came to a little bit later on. So it's still not been 4 years since I've been watching them, but I haven't had the ones that I came across recently. So yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. Down below my social media, my email and some other stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.